I have been tagged again, and this tag wanted to know what the garden plans for 2012 were. Well, for me, it is much larger than I have in many years. This is the back of my place. That is my house up on the hill, my barn. Got a little pond you might can see right there. It's kind of getting full of water. But this is the back of my place, and I planted it when we first moved out here, and that was 30 years ago. Me and my dad. And got an ultralight. Where is he? There he is. Little ultralight guy that lives down the road. Me and my dad planted this. I was a city boy. We came down here. I forget. We planted 72 flats of tomatoes. I don't know how many. It was a horrible number of tomatoes and stuff that we just let sit here and rot. But anyway, that looks like a Japanese zero there. I don't know what that was. We planted an inordinate amount of tomatoes. We were going to be farmers and sell them, such. He was raised on a farm, and he was just tickled to death, and that was okay with me. But anyway, this year I am going to plant. This works out to about 3/4 of an acre, which for some of y'all is not a big deal. For some of you, it is, and for me this year it's a big deal. I've already started. I've tilled this plot. This one is about 60 feet wide, and what it is, I've got some terraces. The land slopes this way down to the pond and then back up toward the house. And whoever farmed here, I think it was about 80 years ago, they farmed cotton here. And they put these terraces in. That's a terrace. And then you got a flat spot. You know, you got another flat spot here and another terrace right up there. And so I'm planting in between the terraces, and this one has a curve to it, and I haven't decided if I'm going to plant straight or whether I'm going to go ahead with the curves. But this is 60 by 210 or thereabouts. I stepped it off, and this one up here is about 60 by 270, 300, and so I've still got some land right in here that I could till, but I'm not going to. But anyway, this is my plans. I'm planning to put in a big garden. I'd like to start truck farming, and for you, some of y'all don't know what that is, just basically selling veggies at a farmer's market or on a roadside stand or whatever. And I've got a little place right here that I have that I've plowed up, and that's I don't know, that's a couple of 100 feet by 50 feet or something like that. That's probably gonna put a stand of corn there. Anyway, there's my little pond. You can see it a little bit better over there. I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know how I'm framing all this. But anyway, my plans for this year are much bigger. I've got a back to Eden garden up toward the house. If I think about it when I get up there, I will add it to this video and show you what I'm doing up there. But this is going to be 3 spots down here, and this is much better soil. Back here on the back is it hadn't been touched in nearly 30 years, so it ought to be pretty good, just mowed and mulched down. But it's also much better soil, just a good dark loam. It's not red and too much clay. I mean, there's clay down there. You get down a little deeper, but up toward the house is just iron ore, red dirt, just clay and rocks and whatever. This is pretty dang good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Holds together pretty well. And I am I'll go ahead and show you my little play pretty. I'm disking it with a little disc I got from a neighbor. That is, it's an Italian, a Sicma, S-I-C-M-A. And my neighbor passed away last summer, and was over there doing something and asked her if I could borrow it, and then I told her I'd really like to buy it. Anyway, it's about 20 years old, but it's got a lot of life left in it. I got it for $300, so I was pleased with that. Bought a metal buster from her, and told her, you know, I'd like to buy some other stuff whenever she gets ready to sell. So anyway, I got him on big Kubota here, and we've been tilling. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna till that spot up there, and then I'll try to show you something on the front side. Also, as I've showed you before, I'm doing the back to Eden type garden here with the wood chips. I've got this area here, and then I've got two areas. One I'm about 50 by 50, one I'm about 50 by 80. But and then I'm doing something a little different. I may put this in a separate video. Down here I'm doing a variation of a hugelkultur bed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. It's pretty cool, but this is not exactly how they do it. Typically a hugelkultur bed is going to have a pit dug, or it can be done on top of the surface, and have fill the pit with wood and with logs and things, and then come back on top of it with the dirt that you dug out. And those logs obviously rot and compost over time, and will hold the water and last for years. A hugelkultur bed is for several years, and will just hold the water, and you need no fertilizer and such. But this is a variation. I'm doing it with wood chips, but it's basically a hugelkultur bed. It's just not going to last as long because these chips will mulch down quicker. But I've got them piled up about a foot and a half, 2 feet tall, something like that. And I put them in line with my fruit trees here. And I tried to pull the chickens have scratched in here a little bit, but I've tried to pull the chips away from the bark of the tree, the base of the tree. And but anyway, this is something I'm gonna try. Now, what I'm gonna do here on these in these hugelkultur bed is plant something like probably cantaloupe, something that will I'll train it to come out here and fill in these middles. I've got 3 beds, so I'll have 2 middles here. And anyway, just something I'm trying. I know it'll work well. Now, will it work as well as a hugelkultur bed? I don't know. But it's a pretty neat concept. Google it and check it out. Something you may want to try on a small scale or larger scale. But I'm hoping to have the cantaloupe and or watermelon. Probably cantaloupe. I need the watermelon up close to the house because the crows killed them last year. They just poked holes in all of them last year. But anyway, I'll have hopefully cantaloupe vines out in here, growing from the hugelkultur bed. And what I'll do, I'm sure I'll do a video on it, but what I'll do is just dig down in the hugelkultur bed, in this bed here of chips, and that's all this is, just wood chips piled up. And what I'll do is dig a hole and fill it, you know, not quite as deep as the bed is, but dig maybe a foot hole and fill it with some potting soil, potting mix with some compost and stuff, and to get the seeds started well, and put you know, just put them in between here, and I'll have to make them you know, train them to go out here in the middles. So this is what I'm going to be doing also this year, a variation of a hugelkultur bed and much bigger garden.